Who discovered Mammoth Cave? Where we're going right here, a fellow by the name of George Morse blasted this out in 1923 with dynamite. Where we loaded on the bus, 1790s. How old are you? 7. How old are you? 10. How old are you? 10. Okay. 1790s. Young child, about the age of these children here, roaming around the woods with a big old Kentucky rifle, sees that black bear, all right, shoots it, smoke goes everywhere, using an old black powder gun, Kentucky rifle, hears the bear scream out, he knows he got a piece of him, but he couldn't see him, the bear disappeared, where'd he go? The boy runs down the hill back where we loaded on the bus at, big huge hole in the ground, cold air coming out. And the bear had went in. So that we count that young boy as rediscovering Mammoth Cave, 1790s. Here where we're going in, 1923, truckload of dynamite blasted out this hole right here in the side of the hill. It was actually found from the inside. And once we get in there, I'll show you some of that. Okay. But before the boy chased the bear in there, Indians had been in there maybe 5,000 years ago. They left all kinds of clues as to where they were at. This is the Ronald Reagan Memorial Cave Tour Shelter. Most of y'all remember President Reagan. Do you remember there was an assassination attempt on his life? He was shot. Okay? Another man on the platform with him, Mr. Brady, was shot. He passed away last week. All right? Well, the reason for this shelter here, after President Reagan's assassination attempt, guess where his first public appearance was? He came to Mammoth Cave, Kentucky. Flew him in on the helicopters, the big grass lawn out there where I said the turkeys like to roam, landed the big helicopters, had a little reception, 3 black limousines. He gets in one of them. They take turns passing each other, you know, like the shell game, as they're coming down the road on the path that we just drove down. They get down here, and weeks ahead of time, this shelter was constructed in case there was snipers up in the hills or up in the trees, so that he could go from the limousine to the cave with minimal exposure. All right? None of the other cave entrances have a shelter over. Okay? So this one, it was built in honor of President Reagan, the only sitting president to ever visit Mammoth Cave. And so we're going to go in the same way he did. All right? And for a while, this was called the Presidential Tour. Okay? For a while, it was called the Presidential Tour. If you've been here in years past, you might have heard it referred to as the Travertine Tour. Travertine is the rock that the stalactites and the stalagmites are made out of. And we're going to see oodles of those here in just a few moments. They took the Secret Service in the cave for President Reagan's arrival. Crawled them around in little old bitty holes. Yes, yes, just in case someone had planted a bomb down in there. All right. Yeah. Now, this dirt in the cave is kind of like the surface of the moon. It's not disturbed. If you step off the trail and you make a footy print on it, that's always there. Okay? So, the Secret Service is down there wanting to go down this hole, wanting to go down that hole, down this hole here, and the dirt is pristine. Well, folks, if the dirt's pristine, that means ain't nobody back there. All right? The cave rangers had a hard time explaining that to the people that protect, you know, our highest ranking officials. Well, one of the guides, I think, that was showing them where everything was, finally just refused to go to a few places because it was so pristine. You know, to just leave it alone, because there's little bitty formations in there. We're going to see some big ones. We're going to see some little bitty ones too. But some of them are so fragile. If the whole bunch of us walked past at the same time, it would make enough wind to break it. So can you imagine crawling around in a hole like that? Oh yeah, the little bitty ones? No, not in this cave. This cave, 55 degrees. And it doesn't matter what day of the year you come, that's what the temperature's going to be in here. Even in winter. So it's funny, we'll be out here in the wintertime wearing a big heavy coat and everything, and take it off as soon as we go through the door. And then July the 4th, the hottest day of the year around here always, you'll see rangers walking down the hill back where we loaded on the bus carrying a big coat. Because they're going to go in the cave and stay in one spot for a couple of hours and talk about things. Well, 55 degrees and you're standing still gets cool rather quick. It's also 80-some% humidity in the cave. So y'all have been at the ball game late at night and the dew starts to set on you. If you're standing very still in the cave for any length of time, you start getting that moisture feel on you. Frozen Niagara, called Flowstone. And let's go look at it.
We'll go through together.